Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Good evening, aspirants. Welcome to the Hindu News Analysis discussion brought to you by ForumIAS for the date 5th May 2023. These are the list of news articles for today's discussion. We will be covering 5 topics, each from internal security, governance, polity, economics, and a topic from science and technology. Alongside these 5 topics, we will also be discussing 2 previous year prelims question and a mains practice question. So with this, straight away, let us move to our first article of the day. First topic, what is behind Manipur's widespread unrest? See, let us know about the issue in chronological order. In the year 2012, Scheduled Tribe Demand Committee of Manipur began demanding ST status for Meitei community. So, taking their demand into consideration, in the year 2013, the Ministry of Tribal Affairs has sent a letter to Manipur government to come up with a recommendation related to the demand of Meitei people. In that, the Ministry of Tribal Affairs has asked the Manipur government to present the recommendation along with the latest socio-economic survey and ethnographic report. So based on this report and data only, the central government will take a decision whether to grant ST status to Meiteis or not. Then after this, there was a representation made by the Scheduled Tribe Demand Committee of Manipur insisting the state government of Manipur to grant ST status. These things happened 10 years back, but recently a petition was filed in the high courts demanding ST status to Meiteis, and now the High Court took note of letter sent by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs in the year 2013, and the High Court is directing the Union government to pursue the recommendation to grant ST status to non-tribal Meitei community. This has led to the problem among the present ST communities living in the state of Manipur. So from this discussion, let us know about Meitei and about the STs and the benefit that scheduled tribes can claim from the Constitution of India. First is regarding the Meitei community. See, Meiteis are the largest community residing in the state of Manipur. If we take the language, they speak the Meitei language, which is officially called Manipuri. Know that the Manipuri is one of the 22 official languages of India and the sole official language of Manipur state. The Meiteis are primarily settled in Imphal Valley region in the modern day Manipur. This is the Imphal Valley. You can see here, right? These all the 4 sides are covered by hilly regions, and the center valley is what we call as Imphal Valley. It is where the Meitei people reside. Sizable population has settled in other Indian states of Assam, Tripura, Nagaland, Meghalaya and Mizoram as well. There is also a notable presence of Meitei in the neighboring countries of Myanmar and Bangladesh also. They have divided into clans where the members of these clans do not intermarry. If we take the religion, a majority follow Hinduism, while more than 8% are Muslims who are locally called as Pangals. The various types of festivals that are most significant and celebrated with great joy by Meiteis are Lai Haroba, Chairoba, Yosang, among others. The Manipuri martial art named Tang Ta is a combative sports which had its origin in Meitei Knights during the king's rule. That is all about Meiteis. At the time of independence, the framers of the constitution noted that certain tribal communities in India were suffering from extreme socio-educational and economic backwardness. The backwardness was on the account of primitive agricultural practices, lack of infrastructural facilities and geographical isolation. So, in order to uplift such communities, robust provisions were made in the Constitution of India. Let us see that one by one. The first is the Article 366 of Indian Constitution. This article prescribes scheduled tribes. According to the article, scheduled tribe means such tribes or tribal communities as deemed under the Article 342 of the Constitution. The Article 342 states that President may specify the tribes or tribal communities which shall be deemed to be scheduled tribes in relation to that state or union territory. So we can see the power to grant ST status to a community rests with President only. Here you must know President will be aided by the advice of Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Know that scheduled tribes constitute approximately 8.6% of Indian population. There are over 705 scheduled tribes notified under the Article 342 of Constitution of India. Next provision is with respect to the Article 15, provisions to prohibit discrimination. Article 15 prohibits discrimination on the grounds of race, religion, caste, sex or place of birth. Similarly, under Article 17 of the Indian Constitution, untouchability has been abolished. Then Article 16, this pertains to equality of opportunity in matters of public employment, and there is an Article 46 that promotes educational and economic interest of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other weaker sections. Then another most important article is the Article 19 of 5. Under this article, special restrictions may be imposed by the state on freedom of movement and residence for the protection of scheduled tribes' interest. So in our case, if the Métis people are added to ST list, then they will be provided with an opportunity to move and settle in the hilly regions of Manipur, which is currently prohibited. This is one of the reasons why scheduled tribe people of Manipur are protesting against granting ST status to Métis. And then there is Article 330 and 332. It reserves seats for scheduled tribes in Lok Sabha and in legislative assemblies of the state, thus granting them representation to safeguard their rights and interests. Areas where scheduled tribes are numerically dominant, two distinct administrative arrangements have been provided for them in the Constitution. They are the 5th schedule and the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution. The 5th schedule of the Constitution deals with administration and control of scheduled areas as well as scheduled tribes residing in any state. But states except Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram comes under 5th schedule. It provides, that is the 5th schedule provides for the establishment of Tribes Advisory Council in any states having scheduled areas. And in these states, the Grama Sabha is highly empowered to take decisions regarding the land management, forest rights, minor forest produce, etc. The states with 5th scheduled areas are Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Rajasthan and Telangana. Now if we take the 6th schedule, the 6th schedule of the Constitution provides for administration of tribal areas in 4 states. They are Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. This is made to safeguard the rights of tribal population in these states. The 6th schedule provides for autonomy in the administration of these areas through autonomous district councils. Last provision is regarding the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. Article 338A calls for establishing NCST. The role of the commission includes like investigating matters related to the safeguards provided to scheduled tribes. Then the NCST inquires into specific complaints with respect to the deprivation of rights of scheduled tribes. Then the commission will also take into account on advising planning process of socio-economic development of STs. So these are few functions of the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes that takes into account the safeguards of scheduled tribe community provided under the Constitution. So these are the benefits that a community can get when they are listed in the scheduled tribe status. So from this discussion, we saw about Métis community and about scheduled tribes and the constitutional provisions related to scheduled tribes. With this, let us close this topic and move to the second topic. Second article, leg up for all tongues, no Hindi imposition, says Amit Shah. As the article's headline says, the Home Minister in a recent interview had clarified that there is no motive or intentions to impose Hindi language at the cost of other Indian languages. So from this discussion, let us have a comprehensive look at the language provisions provided in the Constitution and also about the Parliamentary Committee on Official Languages, which was in news recently. Ideally, every central government document should be in every one of India's language, but it is not possible in practice due to large number of languages. That is, we have nearly 22 official languages in the Constitution. The debate over India's official language has a harsh history. It triggered violent protest in the years of 1960s. The language war was finally settled in favor of accommodation of different languages as against dominance of Hindi. Hence, India has chosen to have two official languages. They are English and Hindi. State governments complement these by producing official materials in the language of their state. So, with this we have constitutional provisions related to Hindi. First is Article 343. According to this article, the official language of Union of India is to be Hindi in Devanagari script. And the numerals should follow the international form of Indian numerals. The article also states that English will continue to be used as an official language for 15 years from the commencement of the Constitution. But we have to note that article also made provisions for continuation of English even after 1965. This was done by empowering the Parliament to make laws to that effect. Accordingly, Official Languages Act of 1963 was passed, which provided for the continued use of English even after the year 1965. And in the Article 346, this article is about the official languages for communication between states and between the state and the union. The article states that authorized language will be used for official communication. However, if two or more states agree that their communication shall be in Hindi, then Hindi can be used. Similarly, in the Article 347, it gives the President the power to recognize a language as an official language of any given state. But this can be done if the President is satisfied that a substantial portion of the state desires that a language should be recognized. Such recognition can be for a part of the state or for the whole state. So from this article we should note that President has the power to recognize a language as an official language of a state. The Article 351, this article gives power to the Union government to issue a directive for the development of Hindi language. On basis of this only, many steps are taken by Union government to promote Hindi language. It includes like Hindi names on central government programs and scheme, for instance Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana and others. Then a parliamentary committee also proposed to make the use of Hindi mandatory for MPs and union ministers. Thirdly, the government made Hindi as a compulsory subject for CBDC schools across the country. Fourthly, the central government issuing media advertisements in Hindi only. Then there is also provisions where the government launched promotional campaigns exclusively in Hindi script. The government also renamed well-known occasions or festivals in Hindi or Sanskrit, such as Teachers' Day as Guru Purnima. Although steps like these are taken, there are certain difficulties in enforcing Hindi language across the country. Let us know about that also so that you can learn it from mains perspective. First is the vulnerability of local languages. Each language has vocabulary, gender rules that do not come instinctively to everyone. When the government uses Hindi as a common language, it will not be easy to understand the government's policies, decisions and position to non-Hindi speakers. Then there are challenges to bureaucracy as well. The government's decision to make Hindi an official language might hamper the efficiency of Indian bureaucracy. For instance, there might be a situation where a bureaucrat from Kerala state in Delhi has to read and write files that are notified in Hindi and they have to submit them to the superior officer belonging to Odisha state. So many languages are involved here, right? Third factor is the failure of three-language formula. In 5 decades since the promulgation of three-language formula, implementation has largely failed across the country. This is because of two reasons. One is the anti-Hindi agitation in various states such as Tamil Nadu. Then there is less demand for learning a southern or northeastern language in states that demand Hindi as an official language. Fourth factor is that promotion of Hindi is said to be against constitutional ideas. The constitution envisages India as a union of states working within the federal framework. Further, in India, most of the states have been formed on linguistic basis, so promoting Hindi will go against these ideas and aspirations and violate constitutional provisions such as the 8th schedule of the constitution. In the 8th schedule of the constitution, there are 22 languages. Of these languages, 14 were initially included in the constitution. Later on, 8 more languages were added as scheduled languages. Then there is an article 350A which facilitates for instruction in the mother tongue at the primary stage. Then in article 350B, the constitution provides for establishment of a special officer for linguistic minorities and safeguards to their identity. So the government's move to make Hindi as a common language might provide Hindi speakers with economic, academic and administrative edge and let them control non-Hindi speaking regions of the country in the long run. This is the accusation that non-Hindi speaking states are telling. These are the issues surrounding the promotion of one nation, one language policy. Now let us know about the Parliamentary Committee on Official Languages. See, the Parliamentary Committee of Official Language was set up in the year 1976. It was set up under the Section 4 of Official Languages Act of 1963. So this committee has a statutory status. This committee is chaired by Union Home Minister. In accordance with the provision of 1963 Act, it has 30 members. 20 members are Lok Sabha MPs and 10 members are MPs from Rajya Sabha. The purpose of this committee is to review the progress made in use of Hindi for official purpose. Then secondly, the committee makes recommendations to increase the use of Hindi language in official communications. Under the provision of the Official Languages Act, the panel submits its report to the President. Then the President sends the report to each house of the Parliament and also sends the report to state governments as well. So that is all about the Parliamentary Committee on Official Languages. So in this article we saw about constitutional provisions related to Hindi, the challenges being faced while promoting the Hindi language alongside the committee which was in news recently. So with this, let us close the topic here. Third topic, tribal farmers sowing ginger at Manjaguda village near the Arakku Valley. So from this discussion, let us know about ginger cultivation, and the Arakku Valley which is mentioned here is much popular for coffee cultivation. Let us see about that also. First is about ginger cultivation. Ginger is an herbaceous perennial vegetable whose rhizomes are used as spice. India is the leading producer of ginger in the world. Ginger is cultivated in most of the states in India. However, states namely Karnataka, Odisha, Assam, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh and Gujarat together contribute 65% of country's total production. Know that ginger grows well in warm and humid climate. It is cultivated at an altitude of 1500 meter above the sea level. Ginger can be grown both under the rain-fed and irrigated conditions. For successful cultivation of the ginger crop, we need a moderate rainfall at the time of sowing. This is because moderate rainfall at the time of sowing will lead to rhizomes sprout. Rhizomes are nothing but horizontal underground plant stem of ginger. So a moderate rainfall at the sowing time till the rhizome sprout is necessary. Then we need fairly or heavy and well distributed showers during the growing period, and then a dry weather for about a month before harvesting are necessary. Ginger thrives best in well drained soil like sandy loam, clay loam, red loam or lateritic loam. In short, a loamy soil rich in humus is an ideal condition. However, being an exhausting crop, it is not desirable to grow ginger in the same soil year after year. The best time for planting ginger in the west coast of India is during the first fortnight of May. It is done with the receipt of pre-monsoon showers. If under irrigated conditions, it can be planted well in advance during the middle of Feb or March. because early planting with the receipt of summer showers results in high yield and reduces disease incidence. If we take the varieties of ginger, several cultivars of ginger are grown in different ginger growing areas in India, and they are generally named after the localities where they are grown. Some of the prominent indigenous cultivars are Maran, Kurupampadi, Ernad, Wayanad, Himachal and Nadia. These information are enough about ginger from prelims angle. Now coming to the coffee cultivation in Arakku Valley, Arabica coffee is cultivated in Arakku Valley of Andhra Pradesh. Indian coffee began during the 1600 AD when Baba Budan planted coffee beans from Yemen. He planted it in the Chandragiri hills of Karnataka. After that, the commercial plantation started under British during the 18th century. If we take the coffee types produced in India, there are Arabica and Robusta. Arabica has high market value while Robusta is the majorly manufactured coffee. Robusta coffee alone has a share of 72% of total production. Know that India is the only country in the world where entire coffee cultivation is grown under shade. This is because shade trees prevent soil erosion on sloping terrain, enrich soil by recycling nutrients from the deeper layers. And we are the only country where the coffee beans are hand-picked and sun-dried. Know that Karnataka is the largest producer of coffee in India, followed by Kerala and Tamil Nadu. For coffee production, soil requirement is that soil should be deep, fertile, rich in organic matter, well drained, and they have to be slightly acidic in nature. Annual rainfall shall be about 160 to 260 centimeter for Arabica coffee, and the temperature should be within the range of 15 to 25 degrees Celsius. And know that GI tag is granted to Arakku Valley Arabica coffee. These are a few important facts that you must know for prelims. So in this discussion, we saw about ginger cultivation and coffee cultivation. With this, let us close this topic here. Fourth topic, CBDC can ease cross-border payments. Fourth edition of G20 Tech Sprint was unveiled by the Deputy Governor of RBI. This G20 Tech Sprint is a global technology competition that promotes innovative solutions for improving cross-border payments. It was organized by the RBI and the Bank for International Settlements BIS Innovation Hub. During the inaugural meeting, the RBI Deputy Governor said that central bank digital currencies could bring about a substantial change in the sphere of cross-border payments. So in this context, let us know about the central bank digital currency. A central bank's digital currency or national digital currency is the digital form of country's fiat currency. Instead of printing paper currency or minting coins, the central bank issues electronic tokens. This token value is backed by the full faith and credit of government, just like any other fiat currency of the country. Know that CBDC is just a wallet or an electronic purse which is issued by the nation's central bank. There are many such wallets operating in the Indian financial system. The central bank digital currency will be one of them, but with a difference that it will be issued by the nation's central bank, that is RBI will issue and regulate the central bank digital currency. CBDC will be based on blockchain technology, and in the Indian context it will be regulated by the RBI as said before. The digital rupee could be exchanged for cash and it will be open for new opportunities in the fintech sector. Now let us see the merits of the RBI digital currency. First is that it helps in becoming more globalized. Becoming more globalized in terms of international trade and investments are critical to India's national security and national interest. Second merit is shifting from SWIFT. The current international payment system based on SWIFT is costly in terms of both time and money. So within no time, the international trade, investments and even remittances will look to shift to multi-country CBDC networks. Also, in order to remain globally competitive under these circumstances, India will need to have a central bank digital currency. Then thirdly, CBDC helps in domestic digitalization. And Indian CBDC can also help domestic digitalization. Current efforts at financial inclusions have been very limited because of low participation by private sector banks. And with the bulk of burden being placed on public sector banks, it causes considerable losses to PSBs. Since the for-profit new umbrella entity mechanism is also bank account based, it might strengthen the divide. This will make inclusive digitalization a challenging product. Then the CBDC may provide an alternative to the new umbrella entities by working outside the banking sector, like through the postal system. Further, it will help India to slowly move towards a cashless economy. But there are certain challenges which needs to be addressed. The first is the design of currency. The design of currency with regard to how it will be issued, the degree of anonymity it will have, the kind of technology that it is going to use need to be sorted out. Then CBDC would need an entirely new centralized payment system. This system has to be linked to electronic wallets that reside on prepaid cards, smartphones or other electronic devices. Then the digital money will be programmable money. So, hence the government has to come out with suitable products and services using the digital rupee such as smart contracts. Then there are challenges to the entire banking system. The impact of digital rupee on the banking system is not clearly understood. Example, if the CBDC are indeed efficient vehicles for retail savers, this could adversely affect the bank deposits. Hence, there might be an impact on the role of banks in credit creation and in RBI's monetary policy. So that is why it is said as a threat to financial stability. If the RBI offered interest rates on the digital rupee, then it will directly compete with banks. If the regulator ends up competing with the regulated entities, the banking system may see erosion in deposits, threatening the financial sector stability. So these are the issues with respect to central bank digital currencies. And in this topic, we discussed about what is CBDC, the merits of it, and the challenges associated with it. So with this, let us close this topic here. Fifth and the final topic, a boost for science, a wider window to the universe. This is a opinion section covered in today's newspaper. Let us understand this topic purely from prelims point of view. The news is that Government of India has given a green signal to rupees 2600 crore project for setting up Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory India, that is LIGO India, in the Hingoli district of Maharashtra. See, LIGO is the world's most powerful observatory. It uses the physical properties of light and space to detect and understand the origins of gravitational waves. Before going further, let us know what is gravitational waves. A gravitational wave is an invisible ripple in space. Gravitational waves travel at the speed of light, where the waves squeeze and stretch anything that comes in their path. Albert Einstein originally predicted the existence of gravitational waves in the year 1916. He did so on the basis of his theory of general relativity. The most powerful gravitational waves are created when objects move at very high speed. Some examples of events that cause gravitational waves are supernova, collision of stars, or collision of black holes. When a star explodes asymmetrically, it causes supernova. During that period, gravitational waves are created and observed. Then when two big stars collide each other, or when two black holes orbit each other and merge, we will be able to detect the gravitational waves. See, the first ever detection of gravitational wave happened in the year 2015. It was captured by two US based LIGO detectors. These gravitational waves were produced by mergers of two black holes. Scientists checked the result for 4 months before announcing their result in the year 2016. Then this achievement was promptly rewarded with the Nobel Prize in the year 2017. Since then, 9 more gravitational wave events have been detected by 4 observatories which are present in US, Europe and in Japan. Now, as an expansion to the network of observatory, LIGO India would be the 5th node of international network of gravitational wave observatories, and it will be possibly the last one as well. LIGO India stands for Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory in India. LIGO India will be an advanced gravitational wave observatory which is to be located in the state of Maharashtra. It is a part of worldwide network. It is envisaged as a collaborative project between groups of Indian research institutes and LIGO Observatory in the US along with the international partners. It will be built by the Department of Atomic Energy, Department of Science and Technology with a MOU signed with the National Science Foundation of United States. For India, LIGO is a momentous milestone. See, India has been an active collaborator in number of international science projects. These includes Large Hadron Collider experiments, the efforts to create a thermonuclear reactor that would enable controlled nuclear fusion reactions, etc. But however, India has not yet built a cutting edge scientific facility on this scale on its own soil, something that can have a huge spin-off benefits for its science and technology sector. Therefore, LIGO is a crucial project to demonstrate India's intent and capability to pull off complex science project on its own. So, in this discussion, we saw what is gravitational waves and about LIGO. So, with this, let us close the news articles discussion. Coming to the previous year prelims question, this question was asked in the year 2018. Which one of the following best describes the term merchant discount rate sometimes seen in news? Options given are option A, the incentive given by a bank to a merchant for accepting payments through debit cards pertaining to that bank. Option B, the amount paid back by banks to their customers when they use debit cards for financial transactions for purchasing goods or services. Option C, the charge to a merchant by a bank for accepting payments from his customers through the bank's debit card. Option D, the incentive given by government to merchants for promoting digital payment by their customers through point of sale machines and debit cards. See, merchant discount rate is a fee which is charged by a bank from a merchant for accepting payments from merchants' customer through credit and debit cards in their establishments. So the answer for this question is option C. The merchant discount rate also compensates the card issuing bank, the lender, which puts the POS terminal and payment gateways such as MasterCard or Visa for their services. So we can say MDR charges are usually shared in pre-agreed proportions between the bank and the merchant and is expressed in the percentage of transaction amount. So it is a charge to a merchant imposed by banks for accepting payments from merchants' customers through banks' debit card is the answer. Now coming to the second question, Rule of Law Index is released by which of the following? The options given are option A, Amnesty International, option B, International Court of Justice, option C, the Office of UN Commissioner for Human Rights, option D, World Justice Project. This is a fact-based question. The answer for this question is option D, World Justice Project. The World Justice Project Rule of Law Index measures how the rule of law is experienced and perceived by the general public across the globe. And it is the world's leading source for original independent data on rule of law. So the answer for this question is option D, World Justice Project. Coming to the mains practice question, consider this question. Question number 1, highlight the benefits and risk of issuing a CBDC in India with reference to the RBI's concept note. Aspirants can take note of this question. you can write the answers and you can post it in the comment section for peer review of it. So with this we have come to the end of news articles and previous year questions discussion. With this, let us wind up the discussion here. If you like the video and if you can understand the concepts well, please give like, share, comment and subscribe to ForumIAS Academy in various social media platforms for further updates. Thank you for listening.